Stanford now with the ball at their own 24-yard line, leading at 7-0. 79-yard interception return by Leroy Pruitt and Josh Matson. Here's Hutchinson on the bootleg, turns it upfield at the 30, and he'll slide down at the 32-yard line. Dwayne Hawkins making the tackle for the Spartans.
You know, one of the things the Stanford offense is doing right now is a lot of misdirection runs and play fakes on the boot. That is to take advantage of the speed of the Michigan State defense, which really does a great job of pursuing to the football.
And the linebacking core, the strongest area of this defense. Dwayne Hawkins starting today in place of Mike Austin. Second down and short from the 32. Hutchinson steps up and he'll go down. Demetrius Underwood, his 5th sack of the season for the sophomore out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. And he is down after the play. Underwood had a clear lane, came up, made the hit.
Watch Underwood here. He comes up the field, puts a great move on Nathan Parks, and comes over the top and tackles the quarterback high. That's a real fine defensive lineman pass rush move. Keeps coming, reaches over with his hands, looks to strip the ball, and it looks like he twists his knee. Looks like he got hit by his own man. It's one of the problems in pass rush, Gus. Sometimes it's a blocker coming from the backside or one of your own men defeating a blocker on the backside that injures you.
And the offensive line has had its problems for Stanford this year. They gave up 44 sacks. At one time, they had 11 sacks against Oregon State. They gave up 11 against Oregon State.
And we asked quarterback Hutchinson yesterday how he felt, and he said he did not feel very good the next morning after getting sacked 11 times.
So Demetrius Underwood walks off the football field. He started a few games last season as a true freshman and will have shoulder surgery at the end of the year.
It looks like Ledyard gets him right after the tackle, coming in with his shoulder and his helmet.
Third down and 7. Here's Walters at the 30 with a blocker in front of him, and Walters is just nailed at the 35-yard line. 8-yard gain, but Aldi Henry just came up. He's a backup cornerback and delivered a lick.
You know, that's another way Stanford tries to get the ball into Walters' hands. He does a good job of coming around, but he really gets tattooed. But again, he's a threat to go all the way. But that's a great hit by Aldi Henry.
Henry, a Canadian kid, a senior out of Montreal. However, a first down for the Cardinal from their own 35 out of the I formation. Delayed handoff, and Bookman running it straight ahead. Pete Govins with the stop for Michigan State. Anthony Bookman, 82 carries on the season for 304 yards. Now don't forget tonight at 7, it's Virginia Tech and Nebraska in the FedEx Orange Bowl. Sean McDonough, Mike Mayock are in South Florida. They will have the call for you. On second down, Bookman again, running the sweep, and he's tripped up at the 40-yard line.
Michigan State that time brought a blitz, a run blitz, by bringing guys inside. We really want to get, again, Stanford into a passing situation here.
And Underwood being tended to on the Michigan State bench. He is strapping on his helmet, which should be a good sign that he's going back in the game.
He'll be back in. He's ready to go. Again, all these players, Gus, are excited about playing this game.
And so far, Michigan State run the football extremely well, 56 yards. Their goal is to run it for 200 yards. And Chad Hutchinson stepped to the line of scrimmage, saw something he didn't like, and decided to call a timeout. So, 11 minutes, 46 seconds to play. Stanford still up 7-0. Some of those crazy Stanford fans have made the trip to El Paso, and their team's leading at 7-0 with 11:46 to go in the second quarter. Demetrius Underwood suffered a shoulder injury as he came up with his first sack of the game. Told you he has had problems with the shoulder this season. Will have shoulder surgery at the end of the year. Screen pass. Caught. Damon Dunn cutting it across the field. Keeps his feet going and gets over the 45-yard line up to close to the 47. Sori Kanu with the tackle, a gain of 8 yards.
And that was a middle screen that they have run so effectively this year, where it's a screen pass, the lineman released down the field, wide receiver comes back to the line of scrimmage, catches the ball, and just tries to run up the field. That was well defensed by the Michigan State Spartans.
Come on, guys.
Chad Hutchinson. 6 of 7. 62 yards. Play action. Hutchinson steps up, going for the long ball. And it's gone inside the 10-yard line. Damon Dunn stretching out to make the catch in front of Ray Hill. And the Cardinal now with the ball inside the 10, gain of 44.
Excellent catch, an excellent throw. But watch the concentration here by Dunn. He sees the ball, he reaches out, and he brings it in. That's a big-time wide receiver play.
Damon Dunn, a junior out of Arlington, Texas, had 35 catches for 452 yards on the season. He's a Baptist minister, an ordained Baptist minister, preaches on campus. Good looking play there. Out of the backfield, touchdown Stanford. John Ritchie, the fullback, an 8-yard touchdown, and already the Cardinal now with a 13-0 lead. So John Ritchie, his second touchdown of the season. He's a senior from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. And Tyrone Willingham's team looking to go up 14-0. And the extra point added by Kevin Miller. 10 minutes, 44 seconds to go. Stanford storming out. They lead it 14-0.
Great job of ball faking by Hutchinson. He's as good as there is. Excellent fake. The defenders from Michigan State buy it. Ritchie sneaks out into the flat, catches a touchdown pass. They did the same thing against Cal the last game of the year this year.
Cardinal fired up 14-0. Stanford successful both on offense and defense. Although Michigan State leads them in rushing. The Spartans have turned the football over twice, and the Cardinal lead it 14-0.
I think the key right now, though, Gus, is the ability of Chad Hutchinson to control the offense, but his ball handling has just been outstanding. Credit him with both the long plays and certainly the touchdown that last time. And that's a play that they worked on the other day in practice for 15 straight minutes.
They've also done a very good job in terms of their play calling offensively, mixing things up very well.
Absolutely, and the defense is doing a good job, Gus, of moving around and creating confusion in the eyes of the offense from Michigan State.
The scoring drive, 8 plays covering 75 yards. They held the ball for 3 minutes and 57 seconds. Michigan State, they are now behind 14-0. This ball kicked out of the end zone, and they will start from the 20.
You know, one of the real big plays was Maxson's interception. That kind of changed the momentum of this game and really energized what Stanford was trying to do. His wife, Tiffany Stoker, was the Miss California, Gus, in 1995. Now, how does an ugly defensive player marry a beautiful woman like that? You tell me.
Must be a good guy.
He's a good guy.
Tiffany, also an actress, and she is now performing in the play Showboat. Josh Matson, very successful on the field today, and his wife is here to see it. Let's check in with Mike Harris.
All right, thanks very much. Eat your hearts out, guys. Here's Tiffany Stoker-Madsen. What a game your husband's having.
Oh, it's so exciting. I couldn't stand it. I was up in the stands screaming. I was shaking, I think, probably more than him. All of us, we couldn't, oh, it was so exciting.
You've been married since July, but you've seen each other a total of 8 times. How hard must that be?
It's really hard being apart. Right now, I'm performing in Showboat in Los Angeles, and I've been in Minneapolis and Vancouver, so we see each other when we can, and it was really important for me to be here today.
Now, you got a special exemption to come here.
I did. I got what they call a personal day, a day off, but my understudy has to go on. It's all the, litigation that you have to go through. So, yeah, I got permission. I'm here.
Thanks very much, Tiffany. Guys, back to you.
All right, Mike. Todd Schultz firing a dart down the field, and the Spartans close to a first down. They picked up 9 on the play. They'll have it second down and 1 from the 29. Make that third down and 1. And Schultz sneaking straight ahead, and he'll pick up the first down. So what does Michigan State right now have to do with 9 minutes and 24 seconds to go to get some momentum?
They've got to go down and score. Even if it's only a field goal, they cannot go into halftime having no points on the board. Again, they look rattled to me a little bit on offense. They've got to get their confidence back. They've got to start balancing it up a little bit more between run and pass, and maybe a little bit more of a play-action type out of the quarterback.
First down from the 31-yard line. Schultz, plenty of time, going down the field for Mason. Incomplete. Derek Mason bumped at the end of the play. No flags, however.
That was good coverage by Swinton. He did a nice job. Now, Swinton's more of a strong safety, and I know Stanford doesn't want that matchup too much. Here's the end of the play, and it's a good call by the officials, and it's real good coverage by Eli Swinton.
A senior out of West Hills, California. 5'11", 200 pounds. And total offense this quarter only 11 yards for Michigan State. But plenty of time remaining, 9 minutes to go. Second down and long. They line up 2 receivers to the far side of the field. Schultz passing again. Underneath, complete. And it's Mason. Slung down at the 35. Rather, Octavius Long.
What they're trying to do there, Gus, is get the ball in his hands and let him run after the catch. Again, they don't want to have Schultz back in the pocket too long where someone can really get after him and sack him and potentially hurt him.
Makes it third down and 6 from the 35. Long snap count now for Schultz. Steps up, delivers, broken up, and almost caught on the deflection. Nigel Carter was the intended receiver. Derek Mason almost had his hands on the football, but Corey Hill almost came up with an interception.
You know, Gus, this play is interesting because it was nearly intercepted and nearly caught. Again, Corey Hill's coming up with a big day, but I believe the receiver is slipped. Nigel Carter slipped again.
So that'll bring in Paul Ettinger. He stands at his own 20-yard line, averages 40 yards per punt on the season.
Here they come, Gus.
Ettinger got it off, end-over-end kick. Fair catch signal being applied by Walters, and he downs it at the 17-yard line. Stanford with the ball and a 14-0 lead. And John Ritchie, big fullback, 8-yard touchdown from Chad Hutchinson. Here's Mitchell trying to get outside. To the 25, making the 27-yard line. Amp Campbell hauling him down from behind. How about my alma mater coming back?
Yeah, that's big-time stuff,
Howard
man.
University. Steve Wilson and company.
Have you been donating to the alumni fund?
Not as much as I probably should, and they've written me letters about that. But it's coming.
It's coming,
The check is in the mail.
The check is in the mail. We've heard that before.
They have a pretty good quarterback at Howard. A kid named Ted White. Led 1AA in passing efficiency.
This is a good waste down. I don't think Stanford will do it. It'll be second and short. but get the first down and, try to chew up the clock here at the end of the first, the first half, and maybe get another field goal or potentially a touchdown again.
Tyrone Willingham, in his second year as the head coach at Stanford, was an assistant with Denny Green with the Minnesota Vikings, also assistant with Coach Green at Stanford. And here's a guy that was a walk-on at Michigan State. Ended up starting at quarterback, and he's really just an inspirational guy.
Doesn't look like a threatening guy there.
Second down, Mitchell again. He'll pick up the first down. Tackled at the 30. Dwayne Hawkins with the stop for Michigan State.
Tyrone was the 1995 Pac-10 Coach of the Year, but I think he did a wonderful job this year. When they started off 2-5, he stuck to the plan, Gus. He had some injuries. He knew it. He stuck with the quarterback, and the result is they're here today, and they were 4-0 at the end of the year, but all because of that man.
First down for the Cardinal at their own 30. Hutchinson, play fake, and it is knocked down. Ike Reese, the outside linebacker, just had a full head of steam, and he knocked it down in the backfield.
One of the things you want to do on defense when the team is doing a great job of play action pass against you is bring outside pressure, because the quarterback does not see you coming. Ike Reese is a big-time player. He was all Big Ten. He was first on the team in tackles. He's got a great, great future for him in the National Football League. Watch him get off the ground, get up there, and just swat that ball back. That's intimidating to a quarterback.
Reese, a junior out of Cincinnati, Ohio, makes it second down in another long situation for Stanford. Hutchinson firing, complete. Walters turns it upfield and gets to the 40-yard line. Amp Campbell there to bring him down, but Walters, here's a little guy that really came on late in the season and proved that he has big play capabilities, kind of like Glenn Milburn was for Stanford a few years ago.
Absolutely. That's who a lot of people at Stanford think he reminds them of. He would have been great in a run-and-shoot offense. Just a little guy that can run and can catch. And I tell you, every time he's got the ball in his hands, he's a threat to go all the way.
His father, Trent, is an assistant coach with the Minnesota Vikings. That'll make it third down and 1 from the 39. Stanford 3 for 4 on third down conversions. Here's Mitchell powering his way ahead, and he'll pick up the first down.
Good job that time by the right side of the Stanford offensive line. Brad Badger and Jeff Kronshagen, two really fine players. I think Kronshagen, the right tackle, is going to be a future All-American here at Stanford. Pat Morris, who coaches the offensive line at Stanford, used to coach the offensive line at Michigan State. In fact, he recruited most of the offensive linemen at Michigan State right now.
For Badger, this is the third straight year he's been an all-conference selection. Helps the Cardinal get another first down from the 42. And Hutchinson is just swarmed under in his own backfield. Amp Campbell comes up with the second sack of the day for Michigan State.
And Michigan State is changing what they're doing on defense. They're not falling for the fakes anymore. And again, because of the outside pressure, the quarterback doesn't have time to see him come. Amp Campbell's done a fine job this year of coming off the corner. That's about the 5th time this year he's made a big play on the quarterback.
Third sack of the season for the sophomore out of Sarasota, Florida. Second down, 17. Bookman at the 50. He's got running room. 40. Anthony Bookman finally ridden out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. Sori Canoe had to chase him down, but it's a gain of 47 yards.
And as we talked about, Stanford has got a lot of weapons. This time, Stanford was anticipating a blitz. So what they did, they wanted to hand the ball off and hopefully hit a seam. It was not a blitz by Michigan State, but it was a great call by Dana Bible, the offensive coordinator at Stanford, because seams get created when defensive linemen are thinking about rushing the passer on 2nd and 3rd and long.
Anthony Bookman, his numbers have gone down this season. He was a second-team All-Pac-10 selection a year ago. Has 5 carries for 51 yards. This one deflected in the backfield. Demetrius Underwood, he's done a good job getting pressure for Michigan State. Already has a sack. Now he has a knockdown.
And you know what, Gus? He's 6'7", and he's got those long arms. It's really advantageous when you're rushing the passer, but also getting it up in the quarterback's face, and he tipped the ball there at the end. Big old guy. He'd be a forward on a basketball team.
So Underwood, solid performance by him so far. 2nd down and 10. 9th play of the drive for Stanford. Split backfield. Here's Hutchinson setting up over the middle. Ritchie again. He'll haul it in and be swarmed and ridden down at the 12-yard line.
This is a great effort here by John Ritchie after the catch. He's an ex-linebacker, now playing fullback. He's got good hands, but watch this determination and effort. You go out to one of Stanford's practices, Gus, and he's the most fired-up guy on the field. He loves to play with great passion.
Ritchie has 3 receptions for 13 yards. Came into this game with only 4 catches for 26 yards on the season. So obviously at Stanford, they saw an opportunity to utilize his pass-catching ability for this game. 3rd down and 5 from the 13. Hutchinson trips, got it off anyway. Mitchell on the screen, and nowhere to go. Demetrius Underwood, the first man to meet him once again. And Underwood coming up with some big plays.
Yeah, it looked that time like he tripped over his own feet. Watch him as he comes back. He's looking down the field. He's got to get his feet moving a little bit more, but his 2 feet right there bang into each other, and he trips and falls down. You got to get your feet up a little bit more, Chad. A little more jumping rope, maybe.
Does a good job to get the pass off anyway. And that'll bring up a 4th down and 15 from the 23-yard line. Stanford, they're going for it. This is the 2nd time that they're going for it on 4th down. And we'll get a timeout called by the Cardinal. 3 minutes and 33 seconds to go. Stanford on top 14-0. 14-0. The Cardinal faced with another 4th down situation. This time 4th down already and 15 in Willingham.
Looks like he changed his mind. Kevin Miller's going on the field. He obviously didn't want to give Michigan State the ball if they didn't make it. And he wants to go up 17-0 here before the half. It's probably a good, safe decision.
So Kevin Miller comes on to attempt a 40-yard field goal. 12 of 19 on the season. This would be his longest of the year. And it's partially blocked. Got up anyway, and no good. Kevin Miller now 0 for 5 from 40 to 49 yards out. And that one, somebody got a hand on it as it took off.
Yeah, the trajectory of the ball coming off his foot was not very high. And that's going to make Nick Saban a happy man when he goes into halftime. Here's the kick. It's a good snap. It's a good hold by Matson. And the trajectory doesn't quite get there.
So Michigan State takes over at the 23. Running over the right side. They get up to the 30-yard line. Dwayne Goulburn carrying the football.
That time they ran it behind Big Flozell Adams.
7 yards on the play, 2nd and 3.
Miller trying to find out what happened over there.
Gain of 6 yards, 2nd down. And 3 rather, gain of 7 from the 30. Incomplete, intended for Mason once again. Leroy Pruitt. Good coverage by the senior out of Lee Summit, Missouri. He leads the team in breakups, now with 17.
That was a 3-step drop that time. What they wanted to do was get the ball into Mason's hands so he could catch the ball and run after the catch. But as you said, Gus, that's a great play by Pruitt.
Been a tough first half for Todd Schultz, 4 of 13, 47 yards. He'll let it go under pressure, and he finds Mason. And Mason Hutchinson ushered out of bounds at the 37-yard line. He picks up 7 and a first down.
You know, one of the timing problems that Schultz is having is that he didn't practice.
Now, don't forget, coming up at halftime, Pat O'Brien, Craig James, and Coach Lou Holtz, all in the studio in New York. Look at college football and a closer look at this game. The ones to come on CBS. First down. Schultz to the near side, incomplete. Mason had not turned around for the football, and the pass was already there.
He doesn't like it. He thought it was pass interference, and he might have been right because the ball was in the air, and White had his hands all over him.
Alistair White covering for Stanford. That'll make it second down and 10 from the 37-yard line for the Spartans, trailing 14-0. They send 2 to the far side. Octavius Long to the near side. Hand off. Irvin, nothing doing. Stacked up at the 35-yard line. Pete Swanson and John Haskins in on the play.
You know, Haskins was the leading tackler on the defense this year for Stanford. He's a tough guy that really likes to play football. And Kent Baer, their linebacker coach, said he's as good a linebacker as he's ever coached.
Finished 9th in the conference in tackles with 100. That'll make it third down and 11 yards to go. Here's Schultz again looking to his left, in trouble, and he'll go down. Kylie Wong with the sack. He lost the ball, but they call Schultz down. That's the 13th sack of the season for Kylie Wong, the junior out of Eugene.
Up top here, Kylie Wong just manhandles Mudge. He throws him aside and takes a direct path to the quarterback. One thing that Stanford's not worried about is containing the quarterback today because of the problems with Schultz's knee.
So Ettinger comes on the punt, standing at the 9-yard line. Troy Walters back deep for the Cardinals. End over end kick, sending Walters back to the 24-yard line. That's where we'll start. At the 40 with a wedge, finally pushed out of bounds close to midfield. They'll spot it at the Stanford 49-yard line. Well, look out, Miami. The Gobblers are heading south for the new year. Virginia Tech has rumbled its way to the top of the Big East, and a trip to the Orange Bowl, and you want tough. Quarterback Jim Druckenmiller is no turkey. Facing them, 2-time defending national champions Nebraska with a very potent ground attack. They'll meet tonight at 7 Eastern in the FedEx Orange Bowl right here on CBS. Stanford with the ball at their own 49. First down, Hutchinson. Plenty of time, fires, incomplete. Manning, the intended receiver. The ball was thrown behind him, and there are flags on the play.
Stanford's usually in a shotgun in this situation when they want to run a 2-minute drill. That time Hutchinson was underneath the center.
And it looks like a holding penalty will be called against Michigan State.
Holding on the defense, number 3. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Fourth penalty of the game for Michigan State. 25 yards in penalties, and Amp Campbell, the left cornerback, called for holding.
His nickname, Gus, is Soup. Campbell Soup.
He's also got a tattoo on his arm with the big Campbell sign. Stanford driving, 1:06 to play, already up 14-0. Here's Mitchell on the draw play. Big hole. And Mike Mitchell gets down to the 27-yard line, a gain of 14 yards. And there's an injured player. That's Henry. Aldi Henry. Backup right quarterback.
You know, Gus, that's another good call by Dana Bible, the offensive coordinator at Stanford, because Michigan State is expecting a pass because of the situation. The defensive linemen rush up the field and are not in a position to react to run. It's a real good call and a good run by Mitchell. Mitchell here sees it, buries his shoulder, really does a good job of protecting the ball and getting the extra yard. And that's where Henry gets twisted underneath him, and it looks like he injured his shoulder maybe, Gus.
Aldi Henry, a senior, 5'9", 181 pounds from Montreal. 23 tackles on the season, and we'll update you on his status right after this. 58 seconds to play in the first half. Aldi Henry got up, walked off the field on his own. Stanford with the ball at the Michigan State 27 and a first down. Hutchinson setting up, firing to the far side with the receiver, and it's caught and out of bounds at the 2-yard line. Marlon Evans with the catch. That's a gain of 26.
Big throw by Chad Hutchinson. Big time catch. Big time catch. He does an excellent job of seeing the receiver and lofting the ball and putting enough air underneath it. Good protection up front, but he throws it right on the money to Evans.
Marlon Evans, a senior out of Gaithersburg, Maryland, gives Stanford first down and goal to goal from the 1-yard line. Out of the split backfield. Handoff, Mitchell straight ahead. Touchdown, Cardinal. Rather, Adam Salina, instead of Mike Mitchell carrying the football, and he'll get in the end zone for the score. And we talked about Salina at the top of the game. He's playing with a heavy heart. His father is in the hospital recovering from a liver condition. His status was upgraded today, and that should help Dad get better faster. Touchdown by his son at Stanford with 37 seconds to play here in the first half. They go up 21-0.
Pretty good for next high school tight end. Good job by him at getting the ball and coming across the goal line. He never stops his legs, and he keeps his body going forward.
21-0 our score. Stanford on top of Michigan State. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, Pat O'Brien, Craig James, and Lou Holtz will be in the studio in New York. Our score, 21-0. Stanford really just pouring it on here at the end of the first half.
And, they're playing with energy, but they're also playing this game very, very fast. They're doing everything right.
This one, squib kicked, and it's recovered at the 47-yard line. Michigan State, they say they have it. The officials have not made a signal yet, and they do. Kyle Rance, backup tight end, jumping on the football.
Gus, you want a squib kick there because what you don't want to do is kick it to Mason and let him return it the whole way.
And the scoring drive, 3 plays, 50 yards. A 1-yard run by Salina.
Great, fast job by Stanford there, just making it happen.
31 seconds to go. Down 21-0. Michigan State takes over. At the 47, Schultz in trouble again. Steps to his side, delivers, and it's caught at the 46-yard line. Derek Mason again with the catch. Picked up 8 yards. John Haskins making the stop for Stanford. Clock still running. 12 seconds to go. Schultz out of the shotgun. Near side, intercepted again. Leroy Pruitt, and he had a knee down. If not, there was a whole lot of green carpet there, and he may have taken it back for a touchdown.
There was another blitz by defensive coordinator Bill Harris from Stanford. The blitz does a great job of getting in the quarterback's face so he can't see. As a result, he does not see the ball thrown very well. And his knee was down. It's a good call by the officials.
So Chad Hutchinson and company come back on the field. They will take a knee and take a 21-0 lead into the locker room here at halftime of the Norwest Sun Bowl. 3 turnovers in the first half for Michigan State. Todd Schultz throwing 2 interceptions, and Michigan State down by 3 touchdowns.
I don't know if they've got the firepower to recover it. I'll bet you Coach Saban has got a decision to make whether to change quarterbacks.
And let's check in with our Mike Harris on the sideline.
All right, thanks, Coach Tyrone Willingham. Can your team play any better than they did? Everything went well for them.
Well, we were very fortunate. We got some breaks. Our defense made a big play for us in scoring on the interception. But we've got have to play better the second half. Michigan State is a very good football team, and they're not going to just lay down. They're going to come back and make some adjustments and some things that will make it difficult for us. So what we've got to be prepared to do is go in the locker room, make the adjustments to get better at what we're doing. Because there's some things in our run game we weren't able quite to execute the way we'd like to. Now get that phase going in the second half and really put hopefully some pressure on Michigan State.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. Gus, Artie, back up to you.
All right, Mike, our halftime score, Stanford leading Michigan State 21-0. Pat O'Brien, Rick James, and Lou Holtz come along next with the College Football Today show after this message.
Tonight at 7 o'clock, number 10 Virginia Tech meets 6th-ranked Nebraska in the FedEx Orange Bowl. For one Hokie flanker, it's been a long, hard road to Miami. He was only 12 years old.
Lead over Michigan State at halftime. Moments ago, our Mike Harris had a chance to talk to Nick Saban.
Get off the field on 3rd down. What'd you say to your team at the half?
I was disappointed in our enthusiasm and our effort and the way we just went out and played the game. I really felt like we were ready to play the game, but that's probably one of the worst halves of football that we played.
Good luck, Coach.
Gus Johnson along with Artie Gigantino. Great balance for Stanford in the first half of Michigan State. 53 yards rushing. What happened to their run game?
Well, first of all, they've got to get the ball into Irvin's hands more. If I were them, I would give him the ball 30 times in the second half. That's number one. But you got to credit the front of Stanford. They're moving around, and they're causing great confusion in the blocking schemes of Michigan State.
So what do they have to do to be successful?
They've got to go on quicker counts, and I think they've got to go back to being themselves and try to be more physical.
And for Stanford, the big play for them was the interception. Statistically, we talked about their balance. Look at it.
Yeah, and it's unbelievable for a team that was second in the Big Ten in total offense to have only 62 yards passing and 53 yards rushing in the first half. They've got to be more productive. But plus, you cannot, Gus, turn the ball over 3 times.
Todd Schultz, the starting quarterback for Michigan State, 6 of 16 in the first half, 62 yards. And Artie, as you told me, their offense is predicated on bootlegs and rollouts for Todd Schultz. He wasn't able to do that in the first half of play.
No, he wasn't, because his leg injury, his knee injury, I really believe has hurt this offense, and they have got to think about changing to the other quarterback if he's not more successful at throwing the ball.
Bill Burke is the backup quarterback, a redshirt freshman from Warren, Ohio. But to start the second half, it looks like they will continue to go with Todd Schultz.
And they're going to give him a chance, Gus, just to see how it goes. But this offense from Michigan State, when they come out, they have to be energized a little bit more.
However, different story for Hutchinson. 12 of 16 in the first half, 142 yards. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. First down from the 20-yard line, out of the I formation. Bookman, second man through, and he'll get over the 20 up to the 22-yard line. Reggie Garnett, the middle linebacker, making the hit.
It's real important for Michigan State to come out and stop Stanford right now. And again, try to reestablish the direction of this game.
And he'll pick up 2 yards on the play, makes it second down and 8 from the 23-yard line. Second half just getting underway, split backfield. That's Kerwin in motion. Counter play, Bookman ran to his own man and is tackled in the backfield. He may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, Nick Saban Nick Saban's halftime speech might have worked. You know Nick really got after them at halftime. Because when a coach comes out and says he was disappointed in their enthusiasm and the way they played the game, you know it's not going to be a joke session at halftime, Gus.
So his team needing more energy and enthusiasm on the field, especially offensively. 3rd down and 8. Hutchinson, and it's almost intercepted. Amp Campbell had the ball in his hands and nothing between him and the end zone, and he just was not able to hold on to it.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be a middle screen against something that Stanford likes to run. But he's coming on a blitz, and he has a presence of mind to stop when he saw the ball and go up and grab it, try to grab it.
And that could have been the big play that the Spartans need to get back in this game. It does not happen, so this will be the first punt of the game for Kevin Miller, as he stands at his own 8-yard line. Low snap, got it off. High spiraling kick. Here's Mason at the 29, and Mason dragged down at the 30-yard line. Mark Stockbauer with the special teams tackle. 49-yard punt for Kevin Miller.
Good time play now. Michigan State has had a fruitless, so to speak, first half, Gus, in terms of productivity. The one drive they got going, they ended with an interception.
Schultz starts the second half. The pitch goes to Goldberg. Off the right side, cuts it back in, finally. Hauled down by Chris Draft. And here's the score everybody's been talking about, especially in Washington, D.C. How about the Howard Bison? 27-24 in the Heritage Bowl. Steve Wilson and company take a championship back to Howard. They finish 10-2 on the year.
Again, Gus, a little bit of confusion with Michigan State wasting a timeout this early in the half.
12 minutes, 58 seconds to go. 21-0 Stanford.
Is sponsored by Norwest. Norwest to the nth degree. Chevrolet trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And by Pringles, so fresh, once you pop, you can't stop.
Our score, 21-0 Stanford leading Michigan State in the second half. Now, all of us at CBS Sports would like to extend our most sincere thanks to the members of the Norwest Sun Bowl committee who have made this game so enjoyable and have made our stay in El Paso a whole lot of fun. So to Executive Director Joyce Feinberg, our longtime friend Jimmy Rogers, and the scores of committee volunteers, we thank you.
Great people, very hospitable.
Second down. And 8 yards to go from the 34 for Michigan State. Play action, short roll for Schultz. And this one thrown out of bounds. Nigel Carter, the intended receiver. And you can look at Schultz. He is having some problems getting out of the pocket.
And it's unbelievable, Gus, but they are averaging 187 yards per game this year. And today, so far, only 55.
That'll bring up third down. Sedrick Irvin. The lone setback for Michigan State. Schultz over the middle, and Mason just can't hang on to the football.
And defensive coordinator Billy Harris from Stanford continued with this trend of blitzing in passing situations. He does not respect the fact that Schultz can scramble or move out of the pocket.
That'll make it fourth down, and Paul Ettinger standing at the 20-yard line. Very nice punt for Ettinger, sending Walters all the way back to the 8-yard line. Walters with the seam, and he'll return it to the 22. Lamar Marshall making the special teams tackle. 57-yard punt for Ettinger.
Tackle made by number 28.
And don't forget, on New Year's Day, it's the Southwestern Bell Cotton Bowl Classic, Kansas State and BYU. It all gets started at 1:30 Eastern Time in Dallas. And later on that night, Penn State and Texas. Texas, Artie, as you told me, one of the hottest teams in the country.
Should be a great game.
First down and 10 from the 22. Cardinal running the football. This is Mitchell.
32 by Mitchell carries the Cardinals to the 44-yard line.
And he gets up to the 24. Chad Hutchinson, first half, very composed young quarterback.
Yes, it's very impressive for a redshirt freshman, and this is only his 12th game as a collegiate football player and only his 24th totally in his life.
Hutchinson, a freshman All-American for the Stanford baseball team, at a 7-2 record, 3.5 ERA. Short drop, slant pattern, incomplete. Damon Dunn, the intended receiver, and we kidded Chad about his ERA, 3.5 for a first-round draft pick in college. He says, hey, those aluminum bats.
Yeah, and he's absolutely right. He says his best pitch is that 94-mile-an-hour fastball, and then he comes back with a slider. I don't think I could hit him, Gus, to be honest with you.
I don't know, Artie. I think you can choke up on that bat.
Yeah.
Take a swing at the fence. Chad Hutchinson gave up an opportunity to play for the Atlanta Braves, turning down $1.5 million. They feel that he could possibly be a Deion Sanders type at the professional level, playing both football and baseball. 11 minutes, 58 seconds to go. Stanford still on top, 21-0. Back, a look at our game summary, and probably the most positive stat for Stanford, Chad Hutchinson. He's put up some good numbers.
Yeah, 12 of 18 for 142 yards, 1 interception. He's having a great day.
They've also rushed for 100 yards. Gus Johnson along with Artie Gigantino. Michigan State trying to make those adjustments here in the second half.
Yeah, and again, they better stop Stanford here because they need the ball as much as possible.
Cardinal, 3rd down and 8 from the 24. Out of the split backfield, Hutchinson underneath, and he just throws a rocket that's caught at the 34-yard line. A 10-yard gain and a first down by Andre Kerwin.
Got great poise when he comes back into the pocket. He does a nice job of getting his eyes down the field, looking for the receiver, stepping up, delivering the ball, and putting it right on the money. That's great poise.
Cardinal now with the first down. Kerwin became a starter. The 5th game of the season. He is headed for medical school after graduation. Hutchinson swings it out of the backfield. Mitchell met at the 33-yard line and driven down. Reggie Garnett again.
Little swing pass that time to Mitchell. Nice and safe. Rather than run the ball or play action all the time on first down, it came with a little swing pass. Now here's an interesting wrinkle, Gus. We're going no huddle.
And they line Mike Mitchell up as a wide receiver on the near side. Hutchinson in the shotgun. Plenty of time over the middle. Done with the catch at the 47-yard line. Sorik Tanu brought him down, but that offensive line for Stanford, Artie, just giving Chad Hutchinson all kinds of time to throw the ball.
And there's some confusion by Michigan State. One of the reasons that you want to go no huddle, it keeps that Michigan State nickel defense off the field.
Damon Dunn now 4 catches, 66 yards. First down. Hutchinson again throwing. This time he finds his fullback out of the backfield. And John Ritchie stopped by Reggie Garnett, but that's one play they've utilized. Ritchie's ability to catch the ball out of the backfield.
Yes, and when healthy, he's as good a fullback as there is in the Pac-10. He will have a great year for Stanford next year.
Ritchie transferred from the University of Michigan. Here's Hutchinson stepping up with running room. He'll lean forward and be close to the first down. Dwayne Hawkins there to trip him up. Now Reggie Garnett, the middle linebacker, very talented guy off the field. He's a an accomplished artist.
Yes, and that's Yoda. And, you know, he reminds me of a couple guys at CBS. I don't know if he looks like either our producer, Bob Monsbach, or our colleague, Sean McDonough.
Oh,
I think he looks a little bit more like
said
McDonough.
that.
Huh?
Sean, I had nothing to do with that. I know he's watching our game. And his mom is also famous. I'll tell you about her story in a moment. Richie. And Artie, as you mentioned, a guard in the backfield, and he ran like one there, carrying the mail. But getting back to Reggie Garnett, his mom had a hit song during your day.
Yes, Ruby and the Romantics. Our day will come.
1960s hit.
And we'll have everything.
The Wolves are starting to howl early here in West Texas. Artie Gigantino singing.
When I was in high school, we used to dance to that kind of stuff, Gus. Obviously a talented family, and he's a great young man.
His mom, Ruby. Ruby and the Romantics. Underneath again, another big completion for the Cardinals. This time, Andre Kerwin will take it down to the 26-yard line. Ray Hill with the tackle. And is this, Artie, the West Coast offense, these short passes and big runs after the catch?
Absolutely, and it's out of the shotgun, which allows Hutchinson a little more time to see what's happening in the coverage.
First down from the 27. Hutchinson again, this time to Selena out of the backfield. And he's taken down at the 20 by Ike Reese.
You see here, Hutchinson trying to get the signal from the sideline and then give it to everyone else at the line of scrimmage. Right there, he's telling his coaching staff to hurry up and give me the call. This is good strategy on behalf of Stanford here. Again, creating a situation of the unknown with the Michigan State defense.
Gain of 7, second down and 3. Hutchinson again over the middle, and once again an open receiver, this time Brian Manning.
And Gus, what this also does, it really puts pressure on the defensive line because they have to rush the passer 5 or 6 or 7 plays in a row. It gets him tired.
Pitch and catch right now for this Stanford Cardinal team. Already up 21-0. Hutchinson again sets up to his left. And a completed pass, this time at the 7-yard line. Brian Manning with the catch.
Hutchinson's been hot today, but he also ended the season very, very hot. This is outstanding for a young quarterback. That's good. That's not so good, but that's outstanding, and he's continuing what he did the last 4 games of the year today. He has not missed a beat.
And right now, the Cardinal with the football at the 7. So far on this drive, Chad is 8 of 8 for 66 yards. What a stellar performance by him. Mitchell running over the left side, and he runs into a wall of Michigan State defenders. Desmond Thomas there, sophomore out of Beltsville, Maryland.
And, you know, Gus, I'm surprised they left the no huddle because they just went 50-plus yards with the no huddle. There's no reason to abandon it inside the red zone. I think Stanford really wants to break Michigan State's back here by scoring here.
And today inside the 20, 2 touchdowns, 3 opportunities. Short drop, Hutchinson throws the fade to the corner, incomplete. Damon Dunn, the intended receiver, and he was locked up in one-on-one coverage.
You know, at practice the other day, we saw the Michigan State defenders practicing the fade after practice, and it was a great drill, and it paid off right here for Ray Hill.
Inside the red zone this season, Stanford came into the game. They've been in there 37 times, scored 25 touchdowns. 25 times, rather, 14 touchdowns, 11 field goals. And here's Kevin Miller. Ball spotted on the left hash mark. 24-yard attempt. And it's good. the Stanford Cardinals. They continue to score with ease. Now they lead at 24-zip. Sun Bowl. Stanford's all-time leading rusher, Darren Nelson, combined for over 100 yards, rushing and receiving. And two Stanford notables, All-America quarterback Guy Benjamin and James Lofton connected on this 49-yard touchdown in the second quarter. Lofton had 2 TDs, and Stanford won the game 24-14. 1977. Here's Mason to start from the goal line. And Mason wrapped up. John Haskins with the tackle. 18-yard return. Bill Walsh, the coach of that team, and look at some of the coaches that were also on that team in 1977.
Yeah, it's amazing. 4 assistant coaches all went on to become NFL head coaches, and Fred Von Oppen now the head coach at the University of Hawaii. Bill Walsh did a great job of coaching coaches.
And that man there, Tyrone Willingham, doing a great job at Stanford. He's led them to their 2nd straight bowl appearance. Last year, the Liberty Bowl. They lost to East Carolina, but things are looking up here in El Paso. Irvin making the catch out of the backfield, but Josh Madsen closing on the play and coming up with the big stick.
You know, Gus, now the Stanford defense, I think, really has an advantage because they can just tee off, anticipate pass, and react to run. So I think you'll see as an aggressive defense from Stanford, as we saw in the first half, because they're a little bit more reckless.
No gain on the play. 2nd down and 10 from the 18. Out of the eye. Schultz underneath. And it's caught Josh Kerr, the junior tight end, with the catch. And for Stanford, Tyrone Willingham in great company. These are the Stanford head coaches who advanced to bowl games in their first 2 seasons. Thornhill in the 30s, Bill Walsh in the 70s, and now Tyrone Willingham in the 90s.
Great company to be in.
Third down. Schultz pressured, sacked, and he fumbles. Brian Batson, the outside linebacker, coming up with the sack. And Michigan State continues to struggle on offense.
Here's Batson on the bottom of the screen here, coming there. Does a nice job. No one blocks him. Because, again, Billy Harris, the defensive coordinator at Stanford, has Michigan State off balance. Good call. It's a rover blitz.
And that is the 2nd sack of the game for Stanford. And a player down.
Please turn in any found articles to the volunteer.
I think it's Schultz.
Located in the North Concourse.
Gus, he really took a shot. I'll tell you, I'll give you a look at this again. He really gets hit. And again, when a defender comes like that and no one touches him, it's full speed to the quarterback. He hits him right under the chin and looks like he got a piece of his arm. So it was a good blitz, and I'll tell you, Schultz took a shot.
And it's the left knee, the one that has been injured the entire season for Todd Schultz. He missed 4 games with that bad knee, and now he limps to the sideline.
Going into the game, this was the biggest fear of the Michigan State offensive coaches, that he would not last the game.
The backup, Bill Burke, a redshirt freshman out of Warren, Ohio, 21 of 54 on the season for 328 yards. Low snap, flags and whistles on the play.
Looks like an illegal procedure call. Looks like Michigan State might have taken too much time.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense, number 5-6. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
And number 56 is Dwayne Hawkins.
There's the doctors looking at Schultz's knee. And again, this young man injured it this summer, injured it again in the Nebraska game, had surgery following that, and hurt it again in the Penn State game.
So Paul Ettinger punting for the 6th time now, 2 yards in his own end zone. And Walters advances it up to the 47-yard line, 47-yard punt, and a return of 8. Now, CBS Sports is proud to present a weekend of NCAA women's basketball action. On Saturday, join us at 2 p.m. Eastern Time when number 17 Notre Dame takes on the Buckeyes of Ohio State. Then on Sunday, it's a women's doubleheader. Today tips off at noon Eastern with 22nd ranked Penn State visiting number 5 Georgia. Then at 2 Eastern, it's a rematch of the 95 National Championship, Tennessee and Connecticut.
That should be a great game. That's become a great rivalry in basketball for women.
First down for Stanford. Here's Mitchell running outside. Mitchell found a seam and gets to the 35-yard line. Ike Reese had to run him down. 15-yard gain.
Nice job by the Stanford offensive line here of pushing the Michigan State defense off the field. You see Adam Selena getting out ahead, trying to get a buck, but it's a good job by Mitchell of dipping his shoulders and going north and south. You're going to look for Stanford now to start trying to pound the Michigan State defense with the running game.
Mitchell, 11 carries, 59 yards. First down at 10. Hutchinson in trouble, and he's sacked. Robert Newkirk, redshirt freshman out of Belle Glade, Florida. One of the most consistent players on this team. He comes up with his 3rd sack of the season.
You know, Newkirk does a real good job here of being in there and getting his hands into the center when the ball is snapped, going one way, coming back the other way, keeping his feet, and making the sack. It's a very athletic move by Newkirk.
3rd sack of the game for Michigan State. Here comes the blitz. Hutchinson got rid of it. Complete the block. Spins out of a tackle and gets down to the 35. Ike Reese there to trip him up again. If not, Greg Clark could have gotten into the end zone.
You know, Clark is a typical Stanford tight end. He blocks well, but he also does an outstanding job of running patterns and catching passes. Stanford has a tradition of outstanding tight ends.
6'5", 255 senior from Centerville, Utah. Spent 2 years on a Mormon mission in Peoria, Illinois.
And he's also the long snapper on punts.
That'll bring up 3rd down and 6. They fake the reverse. Hutchinson getting out of the pocket. Fires, complete, and once again, Greg Clark lunges forward, picks up the 1st down.
Another misdirection play fake. Again, they're trying to take advantage of that fast Michigan State defense. Hutchinson does an outstanding job again of ball handling. Okay, watch him here. Again, he fakes the ball to Walters, gets out, avoids Underwood on his own, and throws the ball. He's outstanding at ball handling and moving on in the pocket and outside the pocket. Good job by Clark when he caught the ball, getting it upfield.
This time they run the reverse. Damon Dunn with plenty of room. Cuts it back inside. Touchdown, Stanford, 27 yards.
They ran the exact same play for a touchdown against Cal, but for 37 yards in the last game of the year. Stanford, when they have you off balance, tries to come back with reverses and trick-type plays. Obviously, it worked there.
We told you about the Cardinals and the way they finished their season. Wins over UCLA, USC, Washington State. And a great victory, as Coach Tyrone Willingham called it, against Cal, 42-21, in the best game that his team had played in 2 years. However, I have a feeling that this may become the #1 contest.
Yeah, because it's not over yet. And I'll tell you, at this rate, we're going to really see some points put up. Here you see it again. Now watch the quarterback here, Chad Hutchinson, get out in front and throw a block. You gotta love that in the quarterback, Gus. He's a guy that's a team leader and really is a tough guy.
And Hutchinson, during his junior year in high school, played linebacker, also defensive tackle, and tough guy today. 31-0, Damon Dunn scoring the touchdown on the reverse, and let's go downstairs to Mike Harris.
All right, thanks very much, Gus. Todd Schultz, Michigan State starting quarterback, out for the rest of this game. He aggravated that left knee injury that he had. He had strained his left knee. He is gone for the day. Bill Burke, the backup, will finish things out from here on. Back to you guys.
All right, Mike, 5-play drive covering 53 yards. Capped off by that 27-yard run from Damon Dunn. The Cardinal lead 31-0. Mason running on the far sideline, gets up to the 24-yard line.
I'll tell you, a unit that's doing a wonderful job today is the kickoff unit from Stanford. You know, really corralling Mason and getting the ball deep into the end zone or to the sideline, high in the air, and not allowing him to have a run back.
So that brings in Bill Burke. 21 of 54 on the season, 328 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. And he is a very accurate passer. This time on first down, Goldberg picking his way through. Gets over the 25, up to the 27.
You know, Burke's an interesting guy, and he's their quarterback of the future. We were talking to him yesterday, and we went up to him and said, well, who's your favorite receiver? And he said, no question about it. When the going gets tough, I'm going to throw the ball to Nigel Carter. He's a nice young man, and I think he's got a good future. If I were Stanford, I'd blitz him, though, every down.
6'5", 198 pounds, out of Warren, Ohio. And he's going to throw it for the first time. Over the middle, incomplete. Pass intended for Derek Mason.
And, you know, Gus, it's hard to come off the bench like this in a game where you're behind by 31 points. And I think, like I said, Stanford should put some pressure on just to make sure he never gets the hot hand. Because it's tough enough to come off the bench, but if you're getting people in your face all the time, it makes it doubly tough.
Third down and 6 from the 28-yard line. The I formation. Burke steps up and he decides to run. Picks up the first down and some as he steps out at the 45. So that's an added dimension for this Michigan State team. He picks up 19 yards, shows his goodwill.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting about it? The coaches felt that he's not a runner. His best thing is throwing the ball in the pocket. But here he's very poised. He steps up, doesn't see a receiver, tucks the ball, and gets up the field. That'll give him some confidence, Gus, that he can direct his offense.
Picked up 19 yards. That'll make it first down from the 47, 12 remaining in the third quarter. The pitch, Irvin looking to pass. Downfield, incomplete. Read perfectly by Leroy Pruitt. He did not bite on the fake.
And you know, Stanford was well prepared for that because Irvin has thrown 2 passes this year, one a 56-yard touchdown pass against Penn State in the last game of the year. So they really prepared for that. He really took a hit on this, and it'll make him not want to play quarterback, but as he was leaning back and threw the ball, he just got leveled.
The freshman from Southridge High School in Miami has been relatively quiet today. He came into this game averaging 92 yards rushing. Second down and long from the 47.
Again, Gus, you see Stanford starting to move around and stem on defense, which is shifting their alignment to create confusion not only in the offensive line, but in a young quarterback. Take a look at this movement here by the Stanford defensive line. This is called stemming, and one of the defenders at Stanford, usually a linebacker, says, move, and everybody moves at the same time.
Third down, 13. And Burke, welcome to the Sun Bowl. Kylie Wong wrapping him up. That's the 3rd sack of the game for the Cardinals, 2nd for Kylie Wong.
Kylie's having a big-time day. I'll tell you, he's had 63 tackles this year, 21 tackles for losses, but he can really accelerate when he gets up the field. And the thing I love about it here, Gus, he just keeps going. Even though the quarterback stepped up in the pocket, he continues to keep after him.
Paul Ettinger standing at the 26. Fair catch signal. And the ball is dropped. Walters, however, he was able to jump right back on it. 39-yard punt for Paul Ettinger. Let's check in with Mike Harris.
Here with Martha Hutchinson, Chad Hutchinson's mom. And in this era, Martha, of take the money and worry about school later, how do you turn down $1.5 million?
Well, when you look at it, it's just money, and it's more important to get be a well-rounded person and to get an education and make friends and learn about life. Then it's not hard.
Do you have a preference as to what you'd rather see him play, baseball or football?
Whatever makes him happy. It's fine with me. I don't care.
How are your dealings with the Atlanta Braves?
They were great. They were excellent. They were great to us, and I think our dealings were excellent. I appreciated the way they handled it, and I thought we handled ourselves real well, too.
Why do you think Chad has turned things around this last half of the season, has really been clicking?
Well, I think it's really been a team effort. I think a lot of having a lot of younger guys on the team, and everybody just kind of clicked and pulled it all together. I think it's definitely been a team effort.
Martha, thank you very much. Good luck to you and Chad. Gentlemen, back to you.
All right, Mike, second down and 1 for the Cardinals. At the 29. They give it to Bookman. He goes straight ahead, picks up the first down.
You know, Gus, what she neglected to say is she was his agent. You know, so, you know, she did a great job of negotiating herself. And there you see Schultz going off to the locker room, and it's going to be a tough comeback for him.
And that is the end of the third quarter with the score. The Cardinals lead the Spartans 31-0. We'll return to the Norwest Sun Bowl after this message and a word from your local station. Score. They're still cheering on the MSU sideline, but not a lot to cheer about because this man has been a great leader for his team this afternoon. Chad Hutchinson. The pitch, Bookman. And he gets to the 30-yard line. And when you talk about Chad Hutchinson and turning down all the money, he really, though, exemplifies what the student athlete is all about.
Absolutely, because he took his education, and as Coach Willingham told us, his future over the immediate money. And this man and his family are very focused on where he wants to go, and he wanted to utilize the Stanford education to help him accomplish that.
Second down. And 10 from the 31. Bookman hops through the hole at the 40. He's got a burst of speed, trying to get outside. Bookman at the 35 and ridden down from behind at the 30-yard line. Fumbled it on the play, and they're going to say that it was a loose ball, and Michigan State will recover. 38-yard run for Anthony Bookman, but he fumbles at the end of the play.
I think that was a good call by the officials because the ball is getting ripped out from behind as he goes down to the ground. That's a good call by the officials. Another angle at it. Again, so often the man from behind is taught to reach over and strip the ball, and the ball was clearly out there. Good play by Michigan State.
Ball ripped out by Ray Hill, the junior from Detroit. Amp Campbell with the recovery. So Michigan State gets it back. First down from their own 24-yard line. Here's Sedrick Irvin running over the left side, wrapped up by Kylie Wong. And some scores to pass along to you. Terry Boggs' team leading Army 17-0 in Shreveport.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, they're doing a great job of shutting down that Army wishbone double slot attack.
It's been a great year for the Service Academy.
Boy, have it ever.
Navy beating Cal in the Aloha Bowl. Army trying for a 10-win season. Second down. Burke into the flat. Irvin. He'll be shy of the 30-yard line. Chris Draft, the outside linebacker, making the tackle.
And here's a look at this year's bowl so far. The Big Ten Conference is 2-0, but soon to be 2-1. And teams from Texas are 0-2 so far.
And freshman running back Ron Dane from Wisconsin in the Copper Bowl against Utah. What a performance. 246 yards rushing. He had over 1,800 yards rushing during the regular season. He is a great young prospect.
Yeah, and he's a tank, too.
And the defense still playing great football. This time, Carl Hansen had 5.5 sacks during the regular season. Comes up with his first and the fourth of the day for Stanford.
And, you know, it's interesting because they had to move him to an outside position before the game today due to the sickness of Warner. It's a position he played last year. He comes underneath on a stunt and does an excellent job of hitting the quarterback and knocking him down.
Junior from Houston, Texas. And it's blocked. Picked up. Touchdown, Stanford. Tim Smith, the sophomore out of Coalinga, California, picked up the loose ball and ran it in.
Thus, Stanford really felt that they could block a punt. Michigan State has had 3 blocks this year and 1 tip. That is a weakness on this team, and I'm surprised Stanford didn't get one sooner. But they were going to get one today, and they were determined. Special teams coach Phil Zacharias told us the other day he thought he could get one, and he was right.
So Burke, rather Ettinger, with his 4th punt block of the season. And they come in to attempt the extra point. This is Kevin Miller. And the extra point is good. 38-0. Stanford just completely dominating Michigan State.
Here's a look at it. And again, it's a high snap, but he doesn't handle the ball well. He doesn't handle the ball well. Looks like he was slow. Being an old special teams coach used to drive me nuts, but it looked like he was slow dropping the ball. And again, Stanford did a fine job of getting in there and putting a rush on him.
So the sophomore from Coalinga makes it a 38-0 game.
Presentation of the Norwest Sun Bowl has been sponsored by Norwest. Norwest to the nth degree. Pontiac and your local Pontiac dealer. We are driving excitement. And by Head and Shoulders, because great hair can't have flakes.
38-0 Stanford leading Michigan State with 12:07 to go in the 4th quarter of the Norwest Sun Bowl. And Tim Smith, a 6-yard return on a block punt by Jeff Allen. And it's been a dominating performance by the Cardinals. This ball kicked out of the end zone. Michigan State will start from the 20.
From their own 20-yard line.
Here it is on top, the block punt. You see Allen come off here, and he has a clear path to the punter. One of the problems Michigan State's got is they got a pure freshman snapping and a pure freshman punting. Very hard, and it looked like it was a slow snap, and he was slow at dropping the ball and kicking it.
Jeff Allen, a backup wide receiver, junior from Olympia, Washington. And Bill Burke. And the Spartans at the 20. Play action. And the catch is made by Derek Gould. And he's knocked out of bounds at the 30-yard line. And a lot of mistakes today by the Spartans.
Unbelievable. You know, block punt, 4 sacks, 1 fumble, 2 interceptions, and 5 penalties. Nick Saban is not going to be a happy guy on the flight back to East Lansing.
Coach Saban has been linked to a number of rumors regarding coaching vacancies in the National Football League. Burke delivers, and it's caught as Mason steps out of bounds at the 50-yard line. And we asked him about those rumors.
I have not talked with any teams, and I don't know what the Giants' plans are, and I really don't know what the Lions' plans are. And really, right now, I don't care. I just like to worry about Stanford and doing the best possible job we can for Michigan State.
You know, Nick was adamant about the fact that he wanted to just focus on this game, not only with his staff, but his team.
Here's Goldberg over the 50-yard line, and he'll be tackled at the 47. But the question is, do you think it's factored into this game at all?
Yeah, absolutely, because more people walked up to him this week and said, are you leaving to go to pro football? Then how do you feel about Stanford? It is a distraction. Your players, your alums, your family, your coaching staff, they all talk about it. And right now, Gus, there's not a lot of great candidates out there for NFL head coaching jobs, which is why he's being strongly considered.
Second down and 6 from the 47. Here's Burke, and incomplete. Intended for Nigeria Carter. And the rumors have had Nick Saban going to the Detroit Lions in place of Wayne Fonts, and also the New York Giants for Dan Reeves.
And what he's going to do if he is offered a job, he said he would consider a job that in his mind is solid from a management area, and he's not going to leave a great job at Michigan State just to go to the National Football League. The reason he is, quote, a hot candidate is because he's been a head coach. This is his 3rd year, 1 year at Toledo, 2 here, but he was also a very successful defensive coordinator in the National Football League.
3rd down and 6. There's the shifting again by the Stanford defensive line. Burke throws it towards the end zone. Long with the catch, and he cuts it in and is tackled at the 5-yard line, but he fumbles the ball. It looked like somebody just snatched it away from him as he hit the ground. A 41-yard reception, but Stanford, they take over at about the 5.
Gus, when it doesn't go good, everything goes wrong.
That's Alistair White in on the play.
It looks like White's holding him, but Chris Draft comes in from the top of your screen, the bottom of your screen there, and strips the ball out, it looks like. Who ends up with it? We'll have to go ask him, I guess, Gus.
Alistair White ending up with the football. Look at the hit, though, by Chris Draft. He just leveled him.
And he's got it. That's good team defense, and that Stanford's still playing hard.
4th turnover of the game for Michigan State. So they get up to the 15-yard line. Todd Husak in at quarterback now for the Cardinals, replacing Chad Hutchinson, and Hutchinson, his day most likely is done, and a great effort by him. Chad Hutchinson, 22 of 29 for 227 yards.
And there's Billy Harris, the defensive coordinator at Stanford. He's done an outstanding job. This is his 13th straight bowl game that he's participated in. 2 at Stanford, 2 at Washington, and 9 at Michigan. He's a great defensive coordinator.
And that brings up an interesting point in talking to Coach Willingham. Here's a guy that was hired by Stanford after only being an assistant for the Minnesota Vikings. He's an African-American coach. He talked to us the other day about being very disappointed that universities haven't been looking at talented minorities, giving them opportunities as the people at Stanford have given him.
And he's absolutely right. Bill Harris is a talented defensive coordinator that should have been considered for one of the many openings this year. He did not have one interview. Judge people on their talent. And that was all that Tyrone was trying to say, and I couldn't agree with him more.
23 coaching vacancies in college football this season, only one being filled by a minority. Why is that, Artie?
I don't know, but again, it's people making decisions that are just, you know, maybe their eyes aren't open wide. New Mexico State was the only one that hired a minority coach. I just think they've got to open their eyes more in the hiring practice and hire the talent, not necessarily the color.
completes it. Husak, a freshman from Long Beach, California, gain of 12 yards for Ritchie. And he quietly has had a very good game receiving the football. Came in with only 4 catches for 26 yards. He's got 5 for 38 today.
Having a big day for next linebacker, I'll tell you that.
An extra incentive for him. He played at Michigan, transferred after 2 years, and playing against the Michigan State Spartans, a team that he's seen before. They pitch it out to Mitchell. Running to the wide side, he spins his way down to the 34.
You know, going back to Ritchie, he's also a guitar player and apparently a great songwriter. Maybe we can get him and Garnett's mom together, and he can write the song and she can sing it along with me, Gus.
Boy, if I tell you what, if you had to sing with them, they'd starve to death. They wouldn't make any money.
That's not what you told me last night.
So Stanford
doing a good job here of running behind the left side of their line with Croker and Parks. I'll tell you, they're pounding it up in there. A good job by Pat Morris's offensive line today.
Inside handoff, Mitchell again. Strung out nicely, however, by the Spartans. And Reggie Garnett playing in his final game in the green and white, making the tackle in the backfield. However, Mitchell, good game for him. Prior to that run, 15 carries for 77 yards.
You know, we talked at the beginning of the show, Gus, when he's healthy and they are handing him the ball, this Stanford offense really is physical up front and physical in terms of running the football.
And Mitchell with 77 yards rushing has more rushing yardage than the entire Michigan State staff. They only have 63.
Home return, be ready!
And Walters unable to hold on to the football. And that will make it 4th down. Now, don't forget, coming up this evening from South Florida, it's the FedEx Orange Bowl here on CBS Sports. Virginia Tech and Nebraska, 10th-ranked Virginia Tech. They have really had a fine season under Coach Beamer. And Nebraska coming off the disappointment of losing to Texas in the Big 12 championship.
Yeah, and that might be the determining factor in the game. You hope that Nebraska is down there and excited to play the game because you know Virginia Tech, who's had one of the great programs in the country in the last 4 or 5 years, is excited about playing the game. I look for it to be a lot closer than people think, and maybe even Virginia Tech beating us.
Mason from the 11. He'll get up to the 27-yard line, 56-yard punt, 7:28 to play, 38-zip. And for starting quarterback Todd Schultz, taken out of the game, and now in street clothes on the sideline.
Gus, I tell you, the 4th time this year that he's had a problem with me. I hope he takes his time this offseason and gets it done, fixed right.
On the other side, though, all smiles for Chad Hutchinson. A very solid game for him. Over the middle, Sedrick Irvin unable to make the catch.
You'd be a tough coach to play for. Solid. How about grade on that one, Gus?
22 of 28, 226 yards.
3-man sandwich there by the hard-playing Stanford defense.
Bill Burke has taken the place of Todd Schultz. There's Chad, 22 of 28, 226 yards. Hamming it up on the sidelines, and he has every right to do that now. 38-0, Stanford blanking Michigan State, and here's a Michigan State team, Marty, that came into the game averaging 32 points per game.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, Stanford is playing on all cylinders, special teams, offense, and defense. And I'll tell you, you got to credit their staff because they never missed a beat from the Cal game in late November. Because at these bowl games, it's hard to have both focus and fun. Michigan State obviously is not having any fun today, but Stanford is, and they came into the game focused. And Nick Saban's not having any fun.
Burke again, runs down the pocket, and he goes down. At the 30-yard line, Carl Hansen, his 2nd sack of the game, 5th for Stanford.
To the 30-yard line.
And the scoring summary. Leroy Pruitt, that 50-yard touchdown on the lateral from Josh Matson, followed by the 8-yard touchdown from John Ritchie, made it 14-0. Adam Salina, his 1-yard plunge gave the Cardinal a 3-touchdown lead at 21-0. Paul Ettinger standing at the 16. Had the last one blocked, and he rushes this one end over end. Caught by Bookman, turns the corner at the 35, tiptoes out of bounds at the 41. In the third quarter, Kevin Miller added a 24-yard field goal, followed by a 27-yard touchdown from Damon Dunn on a reverse. And Tim Smith ran back a block punt, 6 yards, 38-0, 5:55 to play. 8-0 Stanford. Our game summary: turnovers for Michigan State and a lack of the ability to run the football. It's really costly.
Yeah, and Stanford is clicking on all cylinders. Running the ball, passing the ball, defense, and special teams.
Nick Saban obviously hot about his team's performance. Another guy, though, that's hot currently is Steve Spurrier at Florida. His team getting ready to take on Florida State in the Sugar Bowl. Some feel it may be the national championship game. And he's complaining that his quarterbacks are getting hit a little bit too much.
Well, first of all, I think he's created distractions for his football team. Florida State has an excellent defense, number one. Number two, they're going to be faster on artificial turf. And all I think he's doing is trying to hide a deficiency in his offensive line. Hey, hits are part of the game, but he has never talked about what he's going to do to beat Florida State. I think he has thrown the ball into Bobby Bowden's court with all this complaining about late hits, because the guy that's going to be thinking about it all day is this quarterback, Danny Werfel.
Now, do you think that that'll alter the flags thrown by the officials during the game?
No. I think because the officials now are going to look at it closely. But if you look at some of the video that was distributed, those were not late hits. I mean, they were clearly close, but they were not, you know, they should not have been confused with flagrant late hits.
I believe only 2 late hits in that football game. Now, don't forget, tomorrow on CBS, before the Sugar Bowl, it's the Southwestern Bell Cotton Bowl, followed by Penn State and Texas in the Fiesta Bowl.
Talk about another hot coach in the country. John Mackovic is being rumored for a lot of NFL jobs because he has been in the NFL before as a head coach.
That Texas team started slowly. Preseason in the top 10. Expected to compete for a national championship, and they really rallied at the end of the year. 4 minutes and 22 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Stanford with the football at the 39-yard line. And Todd Husak replacing Chad Hutchinson. And this Cardinal team, they will pick up their 5th straight win to end the season after starting 2-5, which is just a remarkable accomplishment for the program, especially what the coaching staff told them when they were down.
Yeah, and you look at next year's schedule. I mean, they should beat San Jose. That'll be a tough game against North Carolina. They should beat Oregon State, Oregon. Tough game against Notre Dame. They should beat Arizona. They could get off to a great start next year. And then they end when the season gets going a little bit against Arizona State, USC, UCLA, Washington State, and our producer Bob Monsbach's alma mater, the University of California at Berkeley.
3:21 to play in the Norwest Sun Bowl. Handoff. This is Jeff Bird outside at the 30, trying to get to the corner. Bird sliding down inside the 15. Sorry Canoe
15-yard line.
making the tackle. 25-yard gain for the senior from Garden Grove, California.
And Stanford's obviously playing a lot of reserves right now, but they continue to play hard. This is a good run. He doesn't see anything inside. He bounces outside, cuts the ball, and gets it up the field.
And already Bird, 5 carries, 43 yards. Only had 9 carries the entire season for 35.
But credit that power running game with the fullback blocking ahead and the offensive line of Pat Morris's at Stanford for doing just a great job today.
Bird again. This time he is jumped on in the backfield by Robert Newkirk. Now Michigan State will end their season at
6-6 next year, this is who they'll play.
Yeah, and again, they can get off to a good start. Again, a lot of these teams here have new coaches. You know, Notre Dame will be a tough opponent for them, but they can get off to a 5-1 or a 6-1 start, but they've got a tough finish, especially when you say you go Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State the last 3 weeks of the season, 3 out of 5 weeks of the season. So it's a little bit tougher schedule from Michigan State's standpoint than it is Stanford's.
A lot of dejected faces on the Spartan sideline. Stanford still marching down the field. Bird stacked up at the 15 and just driven backwards. Marvin Wright, backup safety, making the tackle.
Tonight in the Orange Bowl, I tell you, just like I said, I just hope Nebraska has come ready to play. They're so used to competing for the national championship, and you know Virginia Tech is going to try to take advantage of this opportunity. Virginia Tech does an outstanding job of playing defense. I think Druckenmiller is one of the fine quarterbacks in the country. I really look for this to be a close game and maybe even an upset by Virginia Tech.
Under 2 minutes to play for the 1996 Norwest Sun Bowl. Stanford with the ball at the 14-yard line. Bird again. He's knocked backwards this time. Robert Newkirk.
Bird is met at the 50.
Now the coordinating producer of college football on CBS is Craig Silver. Today's game was produced by Bob Monsbach and directed by Kathy Barretto. The associate director was Susan Smith. The coordinating producer of college football today is Eric Mann. College football today was directed by Bob Matina. And the executive producer of CBS Sports, Rick Gentile. Tyrone Willingham. I tell you what, if Nick Saban does decide to leave, Coach Willingham's wife, Kim, is from East Lansing. He would be a fine candidate to go back to the Big Ten.
Yeah, there's also a graduate from there, so he says when Michigan State each year plays Michigan, he wears something in his clothing, a T-shirt or whatever, that's green, just thinking of his old Spartans.
Nothing green on Coach Willingham today, all red and white as he cracks a little smile, and the Stanford Cardinals will win the Sun Bowl 38-0 over Michigan State. And he's a happy man right now.
He's a happy man, and I tell you, being around him, there he goes. He's a wet man right now. That's great. And they've got a great team chemistry here at Stanford, and you got to credit the coaches and the seniors, because when adversity struck at the beginning of the year, they hung together. They never pointed fingers, and as a result, here they are today. And I've got someone to tell you one more time, I think that they're going to be a contender next year in the Pac-10 for the championship.
Coach Willingham being congratulated, hugged by his players. He is a motivator, no secret about that. They called him the attitude coach when he was at Stanford the first time.
Yeah, because whenever there was a player, no matter what position, that needed a little attitude adjustment, Denny Green would send them to see Tyrone. And for some reason, the player would come out of the office with his attitude adjusted. And he never yelled and screamed. I think he just is very stern in what he does and how he says it. He's a powerful man that's going to be a great coach for a long time. Bring it over, okay?
35 seconds to go. Stanford just a great performance. They've dominated offensively, 492 yards in total offense as opposed to only 207 for the Spartans.
Total domination.
In the ball game now for the Spartans. Third-string quarterback Gus Ornstein, a sophomore out of New Jersey. He transferred from Notre Dame. With 27 seconds to go, and the fifth straight win for the Cardinals. And they have not played easy games in those 5 wins.
No, absolutely not. And I tell you, it's hard to keep the momentum when you take a month off. And like I said, they did a nice job of preparing for this game.
Ornstein out of the pocket, and it's incomplete. Don't forget, following our game, we'll go back to New York, where Pat O'Brien, Craig James, and Coach Lou Holtz, they're waiting in the studio for the post-game report. That is following the conclusion of this one. So just a great day for Stanford and a very disheartening one for Michigan State. The future uncertain for the Spartans as to what their head coach will be doing. He is a very hot prospect. Ornstein down the field, intercepted at the 25-yard line, and that is the ball game. The Stanford Cardinals have won the 1996 Norwest Sun Bowl as they stun Michigan State of the Big Ten 38-0.
Great job by their staff. And, you know, the one thing about Tyrone, he gives credit to everyone, not just himself. His staff is does a great job of designing things. They had a great experience. And they, like I said, Stanford is going to be a power for the next couple of years in the Pac-10.
And let's go downstairs to Mike Harris.
Coach, you said that this team needed to play better in the second half. That's exactly what they did.
Well, we got a little better, not entirely. We had a couple drives in there offensively that we probably should have got more out of. But to be quite honest, Michigan State's a good football team, and I think we must have caught them on one of them days where everything didn't fall in place for them. But credit should still also go to our guys. Our guys played a heck of a football game, and just a heck of a day.
Your alma mater doing this to them, any mixed emotions about that?
No. No, there are no mixed emotions about it. I had a lot of good friends at Michigan State, and I still do. I'm very fond of the university, but at the same time, our football team deserves to showcase itself for what it can really be, and hopefully this is the start of something very big for Stanford University.
A lot of people talking Rose Bowl next year. How do you feel about that?
Well, that is extremely premature. There's a lot of work that has to go into place to becoming a Rose Bowl champion, and we've got a lot of work to do.
Coach, thanks very much, and congratulations, and happy birthday. A day late.
Well, no, really, today is the day we celebrate my birthday. If you win, it's a celebration. If you don't win, there's no birthday.
All right, thanks very much, Coach. Congratulations. Gus, back up to you.
Tyrone Willingham, 43 years old, and what a perfect birthday present. Our final score, 38-0. Now let's go back to New York for the coolest guy in college football, Pat O'Brien.
All right, guys.